We were able to obtain the arrest warrants for 37-year-old Richard White yesterday after he faced a judge at Middletown Superior Court. We're looking more into why he went on this rampage back on February 27th. 37-year-old Richard White was put on administrative leave after allegedly getting into a physical altercation with another Hunter ambulance employee over White's conduct while treating a patient earlier in the day. Surveillance caught him reaching into the window of an ambulance to assault that employee. Other employees intervened, but by the time police arrived, White was already gone. At approximately 4:17, White is allegedly seen on security footage entering the Hunter's ambulance in Old Saybrook, and the arrest warrant states, quote, Richard is captured igniting a makeshift device while standing in the ambulance bay. Richard then throws the ignited device into a small office, setting fire to the office. Richard then left the base operating his gray Ford Taurus. Fast forward to approximately 5:02, White arrived back at the Meriden Hunter location. The arrest warrant states that, quote, Richard is captured pulling up to the ambulance bay located on South Vine Street, at which time he is captured throwing an ignited device out of the driver's side window. It should be noted that the location where Richard threw the ignited device is the same area he was located when he was captured on surveillance earlier during the morning attack on a coworker. Yesterday at Middletown Superior Court, White's bond was set at $150,000 for the Old Saybrook incident. Now, when it comes to the Meriden incident, his bond has been set at $250,000. We'll continue to keep you updated with any new information, both on air and online. Lauren Zenzi, Fox 61 News.